Every 4 years, football gives us the same unbelievable story. Millions of fans around the world believe they already know who will lift the World Cup trophy. The Giants arrive with confidence. The stadiums are full. The headlines are already written. The predictions begin. Everyone says the same thing. There's no way they can lose. After all, they're stronger. They're faster. They have the biggest stars. They've won trophies before. Everything points to one obvious winner. But then, something changes. The crowd slowly becomes silent. One simple mistake. A misplaced pass. A missed chance. One unexpected goal. Suddenly, the favorite isn't in control anymore. The underdog starts believing. Every tackle becomes stronger. Every attack becomes more dangerous. Every second feels heavier than the last. The giant begins to panic. The underdog begins to dream. 90 minutes ago, everyone thought this match would be easy. Now, nobody can believe what they're watching. Fans hold their heads in disbelief. Commentators struggle to find the right words. Around the world, millions stare at their screens, asking the exact same question. How did this happen? Some people call it bad luck. Others blame pressure. Others simply say, that's football. But what if? This has happened too many times to be just luck. What if there's a pattern hidden in every World Cup? A pattern that almost nobody notices. A pattern that keeps bringing giants to their knees. Fans call it the World Cup curse. But is it really a curse? Or is there a reason hiding in plain sight? Because once you see it, you'll never watch the World Cup the same way again. But what if this isn't a curse at all? What if there's a hidden reason why football's biggest teams keep falling? And what if it's happening again in this World Cup? Let's find out. Let's go back in time. Because the first clue doesn't start with a trophy. It starts with pressure. Imagine you're wearing the jersey of one of the biggest football nations in the world. Millions of people expect you to win. Every newspaper says you're the favorite. Every expert predicts your victory before the match even begins. The entire world has already decided the result, and that's exactly where the problem begins. Football isn't played on paper. It's played inside 90 unpredictable minutes. One mistake, one bad pass, one missed chance. Suddenly, confidence turns into fear. Every touch feels heavier. Every decision becomes harder. Every second feels longer. The players stop thinking about winning. They start thinking about not losing. And in football, that's a dangerous mindset. Now look at the underdog. Nobody expects them to win. Nobody blames them if they lose. They walk onto the pitch with freedom. They attack without fear. They defend with everything they have. And little by little, the impossible starts looking possible. This isn't magic. It isn't luck. It's psychology. The bigger the expectation, the heavier the pressure. The heavier the pressure, the easier it becomes to make one tiny mistake. And sometimes, one tiny mistake is all football needs to change history. But pressure is only one piece of the puzzle, because there's another reason. A reason almost nobody talks about, and it has destroyed World Cup dreams. Again and again, pressure explains part of the mystery, but it's not the biggest reason, because there's another invisible force, one that has ended the dreams of champions for decades, and once you see it, you'll never watch football the same way again. So, what's the second reason? Reputation. Before a single pass is played, before the referee blows the whistle, some teams have already won. Inside people's minds, fans believe they're unbeatable. Experts call them favorites. Opponents are told they have no chance. But football doesn't care about reputation. The scoreboard doesn't remember how many trophies you won. It only remembers what happens today. That's why the World Cup keeps shocking us. Every tournament, a giant walks onto the pitch with history behind them, and an underdog walks onto the same pitch, ready to create history. The favorite protects its reputation. The underdog chases a dream. And sometimes, a dream is stronger than a reputation. Think about the greatest World Cup surprises. They all began the same way, One team was expected to win. The others simply refused to accept that story. That's when football becomes unpredictable. That's why billions of people keep watching, because no trophy, no famous badge, no legendary history can score the next goal. In the World Cup, every match starts at 0-0, and for 90 minutes, everyone has a chance. Maybe. That's the real secret. But there's one final piece. The biggest reason of all. The reason why this pattern never disappears. And once you understand it, you'll understand why the World Cup is different from every other tournament. Pressure matters. Reputation matters. But there's one final reason that decides almost every World Cup story. And it's hiding in plain sight. Let's reveal it. So, is there really a World Cup curse? Not exactly. The biggest teams don't lose because of magic. They lose because football has one rule that no trophy can break. Every match begins at 0. History doesn't score goals. Reputation doesn't make tackles. And yesterday's champions don't automatically become today's winners. That's why the World Cup is different from every other tournament. It doesn't reward the biggest name. It rewards the team that performs on that day. That's why unknown players become heroes. That's why favorites sometimes go home early. And that's why billions of people can't stop watching, because every kickoff creates a new story. Every whistle resets history. Every goal changes the future. Maybe the World Cup never had a curse. It had something even more powerful. Hope. Hope for every underdog. Pressure for every giant. And 90 minutes where absolutely anything can happen. So the next time someone tells you, this team can't lose, remember this. Football has been proving people wrong for generations. And somewhere in this World Cup, another unbelievable story is already waiting to happen. The only question is, who will write it? If you enjoyed this football story, subscribe, because the next World Cup story could happen tomorrow. And remember, football doesn't follow predictions.